a question like that is just giving Sean and myself way too much credit. We're coaches. Like, watch what's going on that field and some of the players out there and the people that are competing, and think that it's about Sean and I. I mean, I know he doesn't feel that way, and he knows I don't feel that way. So, and the entertainment of this business is cool and stuff because it brings a lot of fans and brings a lot of money for everybody. But I think that's kind of pretty ridiculous. I don't give coaches that much credit.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that. I think that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay are keenly aware of their rivalry, and they find extra motivation, whether it's motivation to win or fear-based motivation in this showdown between the two coaches. Yeah, it's not like, a duel in the street, because you do have your team that's actually the ones out there playing the game, but the coaches have so much of an impact over the planning, the execution, trying to fool the other guy's team. I mean, that's what it's all about. Sim says it all the time. Shanahan's first order of business when it's time to game plan offensively is, how is he going to screw over the other team in the running game? It's a chess match, and it's a guessing game. And, of course, it's about the coaches, because you need to understand how he thinks. He needs to understand how you think. And so far, after Sean McVay started 3-1 against Shanahan, 6 in a row. And I think with each passing victory, Shanahan feels greater and greater pressure to keep it going.
Mike, you talk about the decisions that each guy has to make, and I think it is a totally, totally fascinating story. Whatever happens in this game, I think one of the things is going to come down to, because I think the game's going to be close, and one of the things it's going to come down to a coach's decision late in the game. This week in my column in Football Morning in America, I detail what happened on that vital third down at the 38-yard line that Green Bay had, or that San Francisco had at Green Bay. And basically, Kyle Shanahan had called a pass play on this because they just had gotten stoned with Deebo Samuel for a 0-yard gain. So they call a timeout, and he finally, after they call the timeout and decide, he calls the pass play. Then the 49ers call a timeout, and Shanahan says, wait a minute, change my mind. We're going to run. I'm going to trust Deebo with this. And then Deebo Samuel obviously gains 9 yards. They kick the winning field goal. But I only say that because, in my opinion, both of these guys are unafraid of making the tough call. Because, Mike, I bet on Monday morning, if the Packers had lost and he called a timeout to go to another Deebo Samuel run after getting stonewalled for 0 on Deebo Samuel with that great Green Bay front, I would just bet that you and half the free world would have said, what's Shanahan doing? Why in the world did he run Deebo against that brick wall again? He should have thrown it. He should have, whatever. But that is why these guys are both good coaches. They're unafraid.
That's right. They're unafraid, and they are keenly aware that you ultimately do have to make good decisions at the right time and hope that your guys execute them the way they've been coached to do it. It all comes down to the coaches. The coach is the most important, other than the quarterback. And Shanahan's good enough to overcome, frankly, not a very good quarterback, all due respect to Garoppolo, or as Alexa Casey has suggested, Q-Opolo. Either way, there is that group of 49ers fans that are unreasonable in their belief in Jimmy G, and he could be back in the Super Bowl again, and maybe this year we'll have another chance to make a championship throw and fail to actually deliver. The difference, though, in this one could be, Peter, the Rams have great players who are currently playing great. They've had great players for most of the year. They recently are playing great, and it could be that the Rams reach a critical mass where nothing Kyle Shanahan comes up with is going to make a difference. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you see great college teams. Doesn't matter what plays they run. They're just great players playing great, and they're going to steamroll you physically. maybe the Rams are at that point. It's not going to be easy against the 49ers to pull it off, but maybe the Rams are at that point where it does minimize the coaches because the Rams have put together a lineup of all-stars who are shining as the games become more and more important.
Hey, look, Mike, we have had our fun, as has every person who analyzes the NFL, at saying, what in the world are the Rams doing, signing and trading for all these guys, these veteran guys, a 2 and a 3 for Von Miller? What are they doing? And look, the Rams have to win to make Von Miller and Odell Beckham and all these guys seem like they were good decisions. But I'll just say this, that Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. are 2 of the 5 or 6 guys who down the stretch of this season continue to come up with play after play after play. I mean, I'm not saying this is the biggest game of the season, but at Baltimore, Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. made the biggest plays of a game that the Rams had no business winning. And they won because of those 2 guys. So all I'm saying is that when you look at the way this season is going for the Rams, it's good that they traded for Odell Beckham Jr. and got Von Miller at the trading deadline. And right away, at that moment, the first few weeks, it didn't look like they were, big difference makers. The last month, they are difference makers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key. They didn't acquire those guys for them to come in and make an immediate splash. The idea is building toward making the team better than it was last year.
Yeah.
They've already succeeded. They got farther than they did last year. That was why it was so critical to win in the division round, because if they had lost, the question would be, look at everything you did, look at all the moves you made, and you still didn't get any deeper into the postseason than you did with Jared Goff as your quarterback. Now's the opportunity to get back to a Super Bowl and try to win it. They got there with Goff and company. Now's their chance to win it with somebody else, and they have the players now who can do it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.